Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. We are Millennial Mom. If you don't know who is who, I'm Millennial. This is Mom.
Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, I'm Mom or Kay from Millennial Mom. Millennial, maybe she'll join me again for another video. She has work obligations, but today I'm here to talk to you about Love After Lockup, Season 4, Episode 20. I've got warrants, bruh. Now before I get started, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, don't forget to share, and also, if you're interested, we have a membership available that's in the description box below, so consider joining the membership today. So we're gonna start off with Puppy and Amber. So remember from last week, Puppy and Amber, they fell out, but Amber was having her get together and Eric got a text on the phone and talk about, Amber's trying to talk to me. It was his wife, Heather, not his ex. So while at home, Amber gets a phone call from Puppy. Puppy says, I haven't talked to you in a while. Amber's like, you haven't talked to me. Puppy's sounding like real sad. Amber's pretty much saying like, you know why we're not talking. We got in a fight and so, I was giving it a few days and, because I don't know where you're coming from. You deserve better than Eric. That's what I was trying to tell you. See, Amber was trying to plead her case as to why they had got into it, but Puppy, she sounded like she's depressed, right? And then Puppy says, I want you to come see me. Amber says, why? Like, why do you want me to come see you for what? She's like, no, I just want you to come by and talk. So Amber says, well, what's wrong? She goes, no, I just want to see you. Please come by to see me. So this whole time, Amber had her phone on speakerphone and her boyfriend, TC, heard the whole conversation. She's like, man, I just got to go see what's wrong, to see what's going on. And TC said, you know what? If it's got to do with anything about Eric, that's it. Like, don't bring no more drama back. Because he told Amber last week, he needs peace of mind. He's not here for this. If she's going to be part of that, then they can't be together. So Amber's like, yeah, I know. So when Amber, gets to Puppy's house, she walks in and there's shot glasses everywhere. She's like, hello? No one answers. So she goes to the bedroom and Puppy's there sleeping. I'm like, how'd she sleep already? You were just, did it take that long for Amber to come over? So Amber wakes her up and she's like, girl, what is going on? So then Puppy tells a story about she don't want to be alone. And after the fight and everything, she considered having an abortion. But then a short time later, she'd end up having a miscarriage. So Puppy is just down and out because she feels like, that maybe her relationship with Eric's not going to work out no more. She feels cold. She just feels empty inside. And Amber said, you know what? She goes, this is probably not what you needed right now. Anyways, and see, Amber, yeah, she was trying to tell Puppy what it was. Like, you probably didn't need the baby. But at this moment in time, I personally think Amber could have had just a little bit more empathy for Puppy. I mean, you could see she was down and out. There was shot glasses everywhere. Even if they weren't hers, they're everywhere. So you could tell the frame of mind that she was in just by that phone call. But to see her in person and for her to sound so broken and to tell you what happened, she had a miscarriage, you can see like she needs some, like a hug or just a listening ear. Because I don't think Eric really gives her a listening ear, but that's just my opinion. But Amber also goes on to say, like, I had an abortion when I was on drugs and stuff like that. She goes, turned out to be the best thing I did because I didn't want to have my baby somewhere. I'm in and out of prison. But Puppy just, she's listening, but she's not listening. Amber says one of the things the sayings that they had in jail, you never know how good the good is. So, and that's something she wants Puppy to remember. But again, Puppy's in a frame of mind of this child was maybe gonna strengthen her and Eric's relationship. So right now, Puppy's in the whirlwind. She just don't know which way to go. So Amber goes home. She talks to her boyfriend, TC. He was like, you know what? I'm so glad I'm not in her situation. She goes, I am so blessed to have a boyfriend like you. She's like, so if I ever got pregnant, I know you'd be there for me. And TC's like, well, wait a minute. No, kind of like slow down. He goes, I don't want kids right now. He goes, I already have two, and I'm not in the part of my life where I want to have kids right now. And Amber's like, oh, yeah, I know. But you know what? Amber's mentioned last week or a week before that they weren't on birth control, so whatever happens. But then in confessional, TC says, I need to talk to Amber about getting on birth control. So let's move to Brittany and Ray. So it's 2 weeks before the wedding, and Brittany and Ray are both home for their bachelorette parties. And this is where Brittany, again, her insecurities come out. right? Like she just wants Ray to herself. Like Ray lives in a bubble. Like if Brittany could have him in a bubble and she controlled that bubble, that's what she would do, like full time. But she was like, oh, okay, so was there strippers there? And Ray was like, yeah, there were strippers at my party. He goes, weren't a big deal. They weren't there for me. And Brittany's like, what do you mean they weren't there for you? He goes, I was just there chilling, having a good time. He goes, what about you? I don't know what you was doing. She was like, no, I was just, hanging out with my girls, not doing too much, just hanging out. And I believe there was a fireman or somebody, a stripper there too. He may not have been, they may not have been in a stripper club, but there was a stripper there that she failed to mention. Then Brittany says, you know what, Ray, we need to talk. We need to get on the same page because her parents are about to meet each other soon. She's worried about her dad. And I'm thinking they're just the parents and his grandma and her mom and dad just now meeting Ray's family. They're just meeting each other and they're about to get married. This is 2 weeks before the wedding. Like, what is really going on? I know that Brittany's dad hasn't gave the blessing, but I still would think that the parents or the family members would have met before now, but okay. Then we see Brittany get in her car and she's telling us that, she's going to go to the lawyer's office to find out about a prenup. She said she just want to make sure that the property that she may be inheriting, when it comes to her family, that it's not going to be part of Ray's restitution. So when she gets to the lawyer's office, she has a question about the property and if they have kids with the restitution not paid, be trickled down to the kids and if she's responsible. The lawyer said, no, no, no. Ray's restitution is for Ray. That is his debt, so you don't have to worry about that. So that made Brittany feel better. But then the lawyer asked a question like, well, does he have any assets that that could be possibly hidden? And then Brittany reminds us that Ray used to sell street pharmaceuticals and, she don't know if he's got money stashed away or anything like that. She goes, I don't know. That's a good question. And the lawyer says, yeah, well, maybe that's something you need to find out. So then when she leaves the lawyer's office, she goes home. She tells Ray, she's like, yeah, well, I just went to the lawyer's office. I wanted to find out about the prenup. And Ray was like, oh, you really did that, huh? You really did that? He goes, I'm so sick of hearing about this prenup. And I am too, because Brittany, like, you either do it or you don't. Now, the lawyer did say if she was going to do it, both parties had to sign. But I'm not sure if Ray would sign. But then again, at the same time, I think maybe he would just to, get her off his back if he, really wanted to marry her. And so then Brittany says, so do you have any money stashed away, from when you were doing your thing? Ray kind of gives her a look like, nah, I don't have no money stashed away and I don't have no offshore account. So if that's what you worry about, I don't have it. He goes, look, I've been doing good, so I plan on paying the restitution. So this don't have nothing to do with you. So he goes, so like, what you gonna do? Like, what are you gonna do, Brittany? And then Brittany said that, you know what? She feels good about the information that she heard. She just want to get more knowledge about it. And she's not gonna be signing the prenuptial agreement. So let's talk about Brandon and Chaz. We see Chaz, he's still at that extended stay hotel, Airbnb, wherever he is. And he said he hasn't talked to Brandon since yesterday, since they had that fight in the coffee shop. Really, I don't think it was too much of a fight. Brandon just didn't want to talk to you. She just, honestly, Chaz, we've been saying it. She's not trying to be with you. Chaz says he is pissed off because he knows Brandon is hiding something. He deserves closure, but he also wants to have proof that she's hiding something. And like Tani can't be that far off. So Chaz is texting Tani to try to get some more information. And then at the same time, he's also looking up that website that Brandon's pictures on, because remember Brandon said that she did that website profile because her friend got kicked off, so she's doing it for her. Okay, Brandon, if that's what you want us to believe. So then we see Brandon, she's at another friend's house and she's telling her about the situation with Chaz and how, he came up to the coffee shop and how he's probably texting other girls besides her. And I'm just like, the nerve of this, Brandon. The nerve, because you are showing signs that you don't like Chaz, and then you're talking to Yola, the person you called your love, your first love, that got out of prison, who did you wrong, who ran off on other women with you, did you dirty, came back to you when your parole person was there, your parole officer was there, she was doing the check, he ran off and didn't comply, and that got you revoked and put you back in prison for 2 years because he was running from the parole officer. He didn't want to give up whatever information you want to give up, but yet this is who the person that you're looking forward to seeing. And now when we get back to Chaz, okay, so he's now texting Brandon. He's trying to get her attention. He's on that website. He's trying to kind of like catfish her in to see if she'll take the bait. And Chaz says, oh, she's probably doing this page. It looks like a joint page with her friend Tara because it's called Tara-licious. I'm like, All right, well, that makes sense. Well, at least if you found the page, if she bites, then you'll know. Back to Branwen. So her friend was telling her, so, I mean, you really don't want to move, and I know you really don't want to be with Chaz. She's like, well, Branwen always says, I want something different. Again, Branwen wants the white picket fence house, the dog, the white picket fence, the 2.5 kids or whatever it is. And that's what she's trying to get, but yet I think she's still being pulled back into the lifestyle that she was living before. And then while they're talking, guess who shows up? It's Yola. Yola walks in, and the first thing I noticed was all the tats on his face. He is tatted up from his face to his neck and everything. I was like, okay, it's different. And she's like, oh my gosh, what are you doing here? And I'm thinking, how did he know you was even there? So maybe Branwen's friend's house is the place to be. So then they sit down. They're talking about what happened before and how, she doesn't want to have the same heartache or go through the same motions with him because she doesn't want to get hurt. But Yola said when he went back to prison, he realized that Branwen was the one for him. Like, falls under the one that got away. And so he wants to do better by her and make things right. But he did say, I know that you're not together or married with someone else that's, not really into you. And then in confessional, Yola said Branwen is the woman that he needs, the woman he's missing. So he is definitely the opposite of Chaz. So now we move to Kevin, Tiffany, and Kayla. So I guess it's been a couple days because Kevin is on his way to Tiffany's job looking for her. I guess she's a bartender or works in a restaurant or something like that. So he asked the person working there, is Tiffany here? Have you seen her? Guy said no. Or the person said, no, I haven't seen her. She gave me her shift, so I don't know where she's been. He's like, well, if you see her, let me know. What's up? He's like, I'll do that. Cool. So then Kevin drives to one of his friend's house, complaining the whole time, talking about he don't know what's the matter. He don't know why she ain't answering his phone calls. He don't know this. Kevin always likes to turn the tables on what he thinks that the other person's doing. He is a manipulator, but in this instance, he should know somewhere in his mind. You was just with Kayla. So maybe she found out, Kevin. So when he makes it to his friend's house, he's telling his friend about not hearing from Tiffany and that he was just, doing whatever with Kayla. He's like, what? You still talk to her? He's like, yeah. He's like, well, she's been there, Kayla, been there for me all this time. So, it's kind of hard to get rid of her. I still got feelings for her and she got feelings for me. And then his friend was like, well, what about Tiffany? He goes, you've been with Kayla for so long. Like, why are you even with her? And especially the way she did you from when you first picked her up when she got out. Because if y'all remember, they showed the scenes, or if you didn't see the scenes of when Tiffany got out of prison, she walked to the other dude to go to his car. And Kevin was like, what's going on? And she ignored him. Yeah, they showed that clip. And then Kevin was like, well, I know she didn't go back with that weenie, unless she want to get him knocked out. So his friend said, so since Tiffany ghosted you, so why don't you call another chick? And then Kevin's like, yeah, I'll do that. And so he goes, well, I'm going to call Kayla. It's like another Kayla. So there's two Kaylas. But this Kayla he calls or texts, well, he actually texts her, is Tiffany's friend Kayla. I'm like, so you talking to another Kayla? But it's Tiffany's friend? Come on, Kevin. Like, you doing way too much. So he texts her. He goes, yeah, I'll see what's up. And this Kayla texts right back. Kevin goes to lunch and meets this Kayla. So when he gets there, she's, he's waiting on her. She comes up and she's like, oh, hey, what's going on? He's like, have you seen Tiffany? Like, you know what's going on with her? She's like, yeah, do you? He's like, no, that's why I'm here, right? And so she's like, well, why would she talk to you? You send her videos off the phone. He was like, I didn't send her no video off the phone. She's like, oh, so you didn't send a video of you in the shower with Kayla sending it to Tiffany? He's like, what? Then he looked at his phone. He's like, nah, I don't got none on my phone. But in confessional, the producers asked, so you don't think Kayla got a hold of your phone and then delete the video? He's like, I don't know about that. Probably. You know what I'm saying? Like, you even called your Kayla crazy KK. So do your friend. So it makes sense when this Kayla said it. And so Tiffany's friend Kayla said, you know what? She don't want to talk to you. She won't have no drama with you. She's done with you. Kevin's like, she's not done with me. She'll never be done with me. Like, who's she with, that weenie? Because don't get him beat up. So Kevin tells us, well, if she's willing to talk to me, I know I could get her back. maybe so. I've always said maybe you all should do the threesome. You know, if that's what you're into. Because Kayla on the low said she'll do it as long as she's the main bee. All right, so now we have Chance and Taylor. So they have a quick scene. I guess they're in this little consignment shop, and that's where they tell Taylor's girls that mom is having a baby, and are they excited? And the girls are like, yeah, okay. You know, I guess they didn't know what to think. And then I think the youngest one was like, oh, we should have a boy. We don't have any boys. All right, so after that, we see Chance and Taylor. They go to Taylor's ultrasound. And Taylor tells us in confessionals that, one, she has a high-risk pregnancy. And two, that she lost a baby due to whatever condition she has that causes blood clots. And that baby was a baby boy. And she's concerned that if this baby she's carrying is a boy, that the same fate may happen with this baby. So she has high anxiety about this. But on the way to the ultrasound, Chance is talking about, okay, so let's get married. I don't understand why you don't want to get married. And a lot of times Taylor is the voice of reason. Even though she's quite a few years younger than Chance, she's like, no, I don't want to get married right now. We got a lot of things to focus on. We have the new baby, just things we can save up for the wedding. And Chance is just like trying to push the narrative. Now, every week, Taylor has to tell Chance, like, why can't we just slow down? Why do you keep rushing me? Why do you keep pushing this narrative? And then in confessionals, we learned that Chance says, you know, even though it's not Taylor's fault that he was in prison all those years, but he's at a particular age where all his friends are married, they have kids, they have a house, they have all these things, and he feels like he missed out, so he's ready to, you know, start his journey with those things. I think Chance is like 40 and Taylor's like 27. So there's quite a bit age difference. And yeah, he did miss out a lot, you know, from the things he was saying. But, you know, you can't rush somebody if they're not ready. So now that they make it to the ultrasound, the doctor's looking at the baby. And then she says something that surprised me. She said, would you like to know the sex of the baby? I'm thinking, is this the first time you went to the doctor, Taylor? Because to know the sex of the baby, you have to be at minimum 4 months along. So, and I don't think no, we haven't. I was going to say, I don't think we've seen you go to a doctor's appointment because you just said in the last episode or so that you were pregnant. So it's been between that time and 4 months, or you just now finding out or didn't want to know until 4 months later? Well, anyways, the doctor said the baby looks healthy. All the things were in place. Taylor gave her concerns about the high risk pregnancy and what happened, and the doctor heard her concern. She said, well, for now everything looks good, we'll monitor you. And then they said that they did not want to know what the sex of the baby was. So they're going to do a gender reveal. So the doctor said, okay, well, I'll put the information in an envelope. And then Taylor excused herself to use the restroom. While she went to go use the restroom, why did Chance ask for a DNA test? He's like, excuse me, I don't want to be rude, but is there any chance we could do a DNA test? The doctor was like, yeah, we can. So I wonder what Chance is thinking as to why they need a DNA test. Because I haven't seen Taylor talk to anyone on the side or message anybody on the side that we've seen. So this is a surprise to us. All right, so let's move on to Sarah, Sean, Destiny, and Kelly. We see Destiny, I'm guessing, the next day or so after she gets out the ER. She's driving to her mom's house where her sister, her mom, and her nephew are throwing a little baby shower for her. And on the way, she mentions about her ex-husband, Jason, how, you know, they don't have the best relationship right now, and she don't have a lot of her stuff because it's at his house, and he won't let her get any of her stuff. But the last time we saw Jason, he looked like he was concerned about Destiny. So I wonder what the real deal is about that, like not giving her stuff unless he's trying to hold it over her head to, like, you know, if you want the stuff, you got to get back with me kind of thing. We learned that Destiny, even though I believe this was mentioned the very first season she was on, has 5 children. She doesn't have custody of any of them. Kids are spread out amongst family and friends like that. So she says she tries to see them when she can. And then Destiny says that she has had 5 C-sections when you're only supposed to have 3. And she's very anxious about having another baby because she has to have another C-section. So, you know, it makes me wonder why she didn't take a different process if she knows that maybe she shouldn't have as many C-sections as she had, but that's up to her. All right, so when she's at the baby shower, she tells her mom and her sister that, you know what, I need to call Sean. I need to get some money. And they're saying, you know what, why do you, just leave that alone. She's like, no, I won't feel comfortable until I get money from Sean. So she steps away and she calls Sean. And Sean answers. I just don't understand, Sean. Why does she still have access to your phone number? Block her. If you know this is going to cause friction in your relationship, why is she still able to call you? But okay, because Sean likes the drama. So she calls Sean and she's like, you know what? I need money. I need this and that. Sean's like, why are you calling me? She's like, I told you I need money. I will leave you alone if I get some money. And he's like, you know what? Don't call me no more. And then he hangs up. And so Sean looks like he's stressed walking around the convenience store, and just by the way he's talking, because see, Sean, I don't think he has recovered emotionally from his wedding and reception, from when Gracie came up to him crying when they did the gender reveal, learning he was going to have another baby girl. And she's like, I'm the only girl. You never spent time with me. It seemed like, you're trading us in for a new family. And I think, Sean, that took him to heart. That really pulled on his heartstrings, because he just the way that he's talking and reliving the situation, he's really thinking about his life and saying how he should have did more for his kids, and he's going to try to take the step to do more now. Then the next thing we see, his phone rings, and who is it? I'm thinking, okay, maybe it's Sarah this time. Not Sarah, it's Kelly. Sean's getting all kind of phone calls today. So Kelly says, checks up on him, see how he's doing, asking how Gracie is. Kelly says she's doing much better now and, just trying to get past it and move on. And then Sean says, well, I'm thinking about having her come down for the summer, spend some time with her to get that father-daughter bond back. And Kelly said, what, that sounds good. I think she would like coming out there. And then Sean says, well, it's not just her. I want to get back in a relationship with all my kids. And Kelly is like, yeah, that sounds good. But you know what? You need to do this on your own. Like, you have to reach out. You have to be consistent about it. And so they left off on a friendly conversation. And so Sean finally makes it home. He walks in, but Sean always has this look to me like, I don't know. He just has this look. It's hard for me to even explain or put my finger on. Just look like he's down or thinking about something, or just like has an ulterior motive. So he comes in and Sarah's in the bed looking at something, a magazine or something. I don't know what she's looking at. So he comes, lay next to her. He's like, hey, can I get some money? She's like, no. She's like, why you need some money? Because Sarah keeps Sean's paycheck. He's like, oh, well, I want to take the guys to lunch. Sarah's like, why you want to take the guys to lunch? Like, what do they need, a pizza party, an ice cream party? He's like, no, just something nice to do. She's like, no, I give you enough or whatever. She goes, if I give you money, I keep your paycheck because you can't control your finances. You're just doing whatever with it. So we need to save up for the baby and everything else. In confessional, Sean says, well, he's trying to send some money to Destiny so she'll leave him alone. But if Sarah found out, it would be the end of the relationship. So don't send Destiny no money. And if Sarah finds out then that she even called you, your relationship is already going to be rocky. So Sean, you need to choose, you're going to be with Sarah or you're going to be with Destiny. All right, last but not least, we have Deontay and Lindsay. So it picks back up from when Lindsay got out the car last week, because her and Deontay got in a little argument, a little tiff, and she's walking. They're looking at the little letters that he had in his car from what she sent when he was when she was in prison, and they have just a brief, teeny tiny moment of like, yeah, oh, I remember, stuff like that. And then I forgot what the conversation was, and she's like, you know what? That's it. I'm out of here. And so the letters get tossed. She walks one way. Deontay stands and starts hollering, carrying on. I'm like, Deontay, no. One, remember where you are, the state that you're in. Two, you're a man of color. Three, you're hollering out like, anything could happen. History, we don't need history to repeat itself. And so Lindsay is on the phone. She's like, come pick me up right now. Right now. So clearly she's calling blame. And then Deontay walks back to his car. He's overwhelmed. Deontay says, I don't care how much she runs. I'm overwhelmed too, B. I'm like, Deontay, you should have been overwhelmed. Like, this is too much. It's too much drama with these women who just, the way that you meet them, You know, everyone, just because you've been in prison don't mean you can't be reformed. But I mean, with the track record that you've had, it doesn't look like, you know, they want anything more other than maybe what you can give them that's on the surface. So then Deontay is sitting in his car. He's talking to his homeboy Derek, talk about how he's over it. Just talking in general how, you know, I don't love, or love don't love me. I don't know what I gotta do. Love don't love me. Lindsay is on the phone talking to her mom on the other end of the block, talk about, yeah, Mom, I can't do this. I'm over it. You can hear the mom saying, well, he weren't good for you anyways. And she goes, he's yelling and carrying on. I got warrants, bruh. You should took care of those warrants when you was in the lawyer's office. Took care of those warrants and bonded out if you could, but that's not how you want to do things. And then, you know, when Deontay's talking to Derek, Derek is saying, well, I know you heard, and, you know, he's trying to encourage Deontay, keep your head up, and, you know, just come on home, man, pretty much. And then Deontay said Blaine planted the seed in Lindsay's mind. I'm thinking, no, he didn't. Lindsay was already doing what she was doing. There was feelings there already. They had known each other for a long time, so I don't think this was Blaine's doing, because it takes two to tango. And Lindsay was already living there, so who knows what they had going on even before you. Blaine finally gets to the scene, and then he gets out his truck, started walking up to Deontay, talking about what's up, like what's going on. Like he walks up on Deontay. Deontay's like, nah, man, I'm not trying to fight. You know, what is it that you want? You need to calm down. And then Lindsay goes, no, you guys need to calm down. Lindsay, you called Blaine. You should have met Blaine at another block, because you already know that Blaine's not here for Deontay. Deontay is not feeling Blaine, but Blaine, for real, is trying to be about that life when it comes to you and how he feels about you. And so, you know, he just felt like walking up on Deontay like something was going to happen. Deontay says, you know what? Don't walk up on me challenging my manhood. He said, let's go, Blaine, because you know I'm on probation. You know, it's all loud. So she don't want to make a scene, but guess what? The scene has already been made. When Lindsay said that about the probation, Deontay goes, you know what? I would never get you in trouble. I would never do that to you. But all that fell on deaf ears. Lindsay's not trying to hear that. She just walked away with Blaine. And then Deontay says, you know, he's tired of looking like a fool in front of the entire world. Then stop coming on Love After Lockup. Maybe try a different show. All right, everybody. So that was the end of the episode. So I think there's one more episode to the finale, and I'm trying to get Millennial here for that finale to get her take on the couples and the scenes that are going on this season, because she's been watching too, but she just couldn't make it based on work responsibilities. Okay, so thank you all again for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Don't forget about the membership in the description box below. And until next time, live simply, be grateful.